Hello and welcome back to the Beat Down Bandits podcast. I am Colin and this is season 3, episode 9 of the podcast. Today's podcast is going to be similar to last week's podcast. Last week I did a March Madness bracket. See up there. Was that a dab? It's kind of dabbing there. Anyway. So I did an actual basketball March Madness bracket, and there's this website bracketfights.com. Not a sponsor or anything like that, but I enjoy filling out those brackets. And I think I said last time or last podcast that this website's not quite as good as what the old school Brackify was, but oh my God, man, the sun is coming through. Right now, so I am lit up like a ghost. Anyway, oh my God, it's so bright in my office right now. Like normally it's like super dark in here because I painted all my walls black. It's like black and white in here. Anyway, so we're gonna do a bunch of brackets today. I don't even know what we're doing. I'm just gonna go through and start looking at them and seeing what I like and don't like and blah, 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 blah. So I don't know if some of them are outdated or bad or what, but we're just going to do some. We're going to do some for fun. So let me share my screen. We're going to do this. I don't think there's going to be any sounds or video clips, so we're just going to share. Actually, you know what? Let me stop. I want to make sure. That I don't know. Well, we're just gonna roll with it. We're just gonna roll with it. I think I don't know if it's going to share my face or not, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. So we're going to roll with it. And we did, like last time, like I said, we did the March Madness actual basketball bracket. So we're going to do something different. We'll go away from some sports. Yeah, so I want to do food and drink and TV and movies and things like that. Video games, 100%. So we're just going to hit a few, right? We're going to have some fun. Best candy of all time. We're just gonna start with that. That seems like a great start. I feel like at one point forever ago I kind of did one of these, but okay. So Pockies, like I've first time I've ever had Pockies was maybe about 6 months ago. First time I ever had one. They're just okay, but if you've never had a Twix is amazing. I would 100% rather have a Twix than a Pocky any day of the week. Cadbury's, Cadbury's is delicious. I mean, chocolate's going to have like an unfair advantage, I feel like. I mean, I know a lot of people are not big like chocolate fans, but 90% of people are going to want to have chocolate over anything else. Taffy is just, it's fine, but if I never had taffy again, I would be okay. Chocolate is hard. Mr. Goodbar, also very good. You know what? Reese's is good. The cups. I'm not a huge fan of the Reese pieces. So you know what? I'm gonna go Mr. Goodbar on this. I don't know what this is. It just looks like some type of chocolate, but I know what a Milky Way is, and Milky Ways are also perfectly fine. So Milky Way's good. You know what? Sprees, man, that's a whole nother thing. Maybe I've had some like stolen Halloween candy or something like that. It's the advantage of having kids, right? You get to take that candy. You get that dad tax. But Kit Kat versus Spree in this match. At some point, I feel like some type of like little chewy candies or something like that is going to bypass chocolate. But Kit Kats are also very good. That's a hard one. Okay, so here we have a non-chocolate. Fun Dip is just sugar, but the Twizzlers are also not great. Would I rather eat a Twizzler or Fun Dip? I think for the sake of my heart and my health, I would rather have a Twizzler. Twizzlers are just kind of bland. But man, Fun Dip is just straight up sugar. Also, the little white stick things, those are disgusting. That's chalk. So I'm gonna eat a Twizzler. 100 grand or Swedish fish. As I take a sip of my coffee, Swedish fish are actually good. I think there's probably a lot of people who've never had Swedish fish. 100 grand is also fine, but I'm going to do something different here, and I'm going with the Swedish fish because it's an underrated thing. Pez versus just Jelly Bellies, like jelly bean Jelly Bellies. Pez is unique, but the little candies themselves aren't great. Jelly beans, right? Like this is 100% jelly beans. Okay, so we're going down for a second round. So Cadbury Dairy Milk, has anybody ever had that? Like I've had plenty of Cadbury eggs, right? But Twix is too good to lose this, I think. Yeah, I don't even know if I've ever seen this. What is this doing here? Come on, I definitely picked Twix. There we go. Mr. Goodbar or Milky Way? I don't know. I feel like I'm just gonna have to go with like a Milky Way on this one. Kit Kat versus Twizzlers is an easy matchup for Kit Kat. Easy win. Swedish Fish versus Jelly Bellies. I'm gonna go, I think, with the jelly beans on this one. Twix versus Milky Way. I feel like this is like just setting up for Kit Kat versus Twix, right? I would rather have a Kit Kat. See, this is something I need to have like a debate with somebody else. Like this is worth approaching with somebody else and having a debate with like what's better. So that's gonna have to happen at some point. Is we're just gonna have a debate. Like one person gets a one veto type of thing where like, no, I disagree. I'm vetoing your choice. Twix? I haven't had a Twix for a long time, but those are really good. Okay, Runts versus Reese Peanut Butter Cups. Like Reese Peanut Butter Cups has got to be the favorite in this. See, so Cadbury cream eggs are so good. Candy corn, I know, has like this weird cult following. Like 90% of people hate it, but then like the 10% of people that like it, it's like it's the best candy in the world. This is Cadbury cream eggs. Like, come on, man. Hershey Kisses versus Jolly Ranchers. I mean, chocolate is so hard to beat, I think. Chocolate is just way too good. So I think I'm gonna have to go with the Kisses over the Jolly Ranchers. Double Bubble gum. The problem with like that type of gum is like it just loses its flavor way too fast. But Gob Stoppers. Gob Stoppers, another underrated candy. So good. Gob Stoppers may be a dark horse over here. This is the easiest matchup of all time. Lifesavers Candy versus Snickers. I mean, who is going to pick Lifesavers over Snickers? If you do, then you have serious problems. Okay, gummy bears, delicious. Whoppers. How is this? This doesn't seem fair. Like, am I that just like much of a fan of chocolate that I can't bring myself to have gummy bears beat chocolate? Some people, I guess, maybe don't like the malted aspects. Okay, so the Charlie, like the gummy worms, like the sour gummy worms versus Airheads, right? And this kind of goes back to the taffy stuff, right? Like the Airheads are probably like a lot of little kids like Airheads. I can't stand them. So 100%, I like sour things anyway. I like the sour candies. Like those are good. All right, so regular Tootsie Rolls versus a Crunch Bar. I can't. I feel like this is unfair for Tootsie Roll because it's like an iconic candy. but Crunch bars are gonna be so much better. Now they make Tootsie Roll like big, giant Tootsie Rolls. Uh, this just seems unfair. I think if I were given the choice, would you rather have a Crunch bar or a Tootsie Roll? I'm gonna pick a Crunch bar. I think that's the best way to decide. Now see, this is interesting. If I'm given a package of Reese's or a Cadbury cream egg, what am I gonna pick? They're both delicious. I do enjoy the cream in those. Peanut butter cups are just way too good. But you know what I think is maybe like the deciding factor is the peanut butter cups are easier to eat and cleaner to eat. So I think if I'm given the choice, they're both delicious. I would probably even taste wise prefer the Reese's peanut butter cups, but it's also easier to eat. All right, Gob Stoppers versus Kisses. So this might be my first chocolate upset. Is I think if I'm given the choice, would you rather have a couple Gob Stoppers or a couple of the Hershey Kisses? I would rather have the Gob Stoppers, I think. Might be my first upset. Okay, so this is a tough matchup, right? This is that 8 versus 9 seed, right? Snickers versus Whoppers. If I'm given the choice, hey, do you want this Snickers or this box of Whoppers? I think I might actually pick the Whoppers. Probably because I don't get them as often. Now, I don't eat much candy. I haven't had candy in months anyway. But Snickers versus Whoppers, man, that's a hard one. I think traditionally I would probably choose Snickers. Like Snickers is probably better. But if I'm asking myself, what am I going to get today? If somebody were like, hey, you eat this Snickers or this box of Whoppers, I think I'll pick the Whoppers. Right? Because like I can also like easily put it away. Like Snickers, I feel like maybe less. I'm going to go Whoppers. That might be an upset. Okay, the gummy worms, the sour trolley, or the sour bright crawlers, right? Very good. It's also resealable, which is nice. Crunch bars, not. So my last point on the last one is I can put the Whoppers away, right? But Whoppers are so much better than these. So I think Crunch is better than this. So I'm gonna go with a Crunch. Okay, so this is a big matchup for me personally. So Reese's or Gob Stoppers, I think Reese's is probably my go-to on this one. Crunch versus Whoppers, I think Whoppers. This is an easier choice for me on this one. Whoppers over a Crunch, I think like any day of the week. I think is so much better. Reese's versus Whoppers, I think Reese's. I think is the choice there. And now finally our championship matchup, Twix versus Reese's. I think Reese's. Right? I think Reese's. I think Reese's is our champion. So there we go. We have Reese's winning the best candy bracket. I don't think I need to download this image, right? Like I feel like that's overkill. But congrats to Reese's. All right, so let's go back. I want to I know there are some like TV ones I want to get. Video game ones I want to get. I don't want any like a video ads here. Best movie franchises, right? Like let's get that and let's get a video game one or two going. All right, best movie franchises. Planet of the Apes or X-Men. So would this include First Class X-Men? Because I think that's part of the franchise, right? So I think X-Men on this. Transformers or Shrek. What is up with this Shrek picture, first of all? Like let's talk about this picture of Shrek. All right, so the Transformers franchise or Shrek. What would I rather sit down and watch? Hey, do you want to watch Transformers or do you want to watch Shrek? I would personally probably prefer to watch Transformers, depending on which one, but I think the overall franchise better. Shrek is really good, right? Like the first and second Shrek are really good. There's more Transformers. There's like 4 of them that are pretty decent, 3 of them that are pretty decent. I'll go Transformers. This might ruffle some feathers, but I think Transformers over Shrek. Marvel, this is unfair. MCU versus Lord of the Rings. Like, I feel like that is an unfair matchup for Lord of the Rings at the beginning. That's such a good franchise, right? Like, the Hobbits were not as good, but MCU is like a clear favorite to win this whole thing right off of the bat, right? Like, is there anything? I mean, there's one other that I'm assuming is in here that would maybe be a favorite, but MCU is like the most watched franchise of all time, most popular movies of all time, biggest box office successes of all time, right? Like this seems unfair for Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings got done dirty. That's a horrible first round for them. Okay, the Star Trek franchise. So you have to think of the whole franchise versus the Matrix. Matrix gets worse, right? Like I didn't even see the new one. I heard it's better than like Revolutions and stuff like that, but Star Trek is much. I hate to do like the original Matrix dirty, but Star Trek, Die Hard or Rocky. After like the problem with Die Hard is like the first one is iconic. The second one is pretty dang good. Third one is okay, but then it's just downhill from there, right? Rocky, I think Rocky. It's bigger, and through like Rocky 4, really, I think is still really good. And even like the Creed stuff now is pretty good as well. So I'm gonna go Rocky. I mean, I don't like this matchup at all. Blade Runner or Fast and Furious. Is Blade Runner really considered like a franchise though? And the new stuff is just not as good. So Fast and Furious, I think, over Blade Runner. The original Blade Runner is great. Pirates of the Caribbean versus Harry Potter. Pirates of the Caribbean is one of those things also that like gets worse as it goes along. The first Pirates of the Caribbean, so flipping good, right? Amazing. Harry Potter, I think peaks and then maybe is not quite as great at the end, but there's more options and I think overall maybe better. That's a tough matchup, but probably Harry Potter. All right, X-Men versus Transformers. X-Men pretty easy, I think, right here. Yeah, MCU versus Star Trek, also easy. MCU, nothing against Star Trek. Marvel stuff is just so flipping good. All right, Rocky, Men in Black. No, this is pretty easy matchup right here, I think. Rocky, Fast and Furious versus Harry Potter. Harry Potter, I think, for sure. X-Men versus Marvel. Well, so this is Marvel versus Marvel right here, but the X-Men franchise versus the MCU. MCU. Rocky versus Harry Potter. We're gonna go Harry Potter, I guess, and then MCU versus Harry Potter. MCU. I feel like that was a pretty easy bracket over there. Jack Ryan franchise. So that's gonna go back to Hunt for Red October, right? And Clear and Present Danger, all the Harrison Ford and everything. So full Jack Ryan stuff. The new Jack Ryan series, season 1 and season 2. If you guys haven't seen those are really good. John Krasinski does an awesome job. But the Mission Impossible series and franchise is also really good. I think I'm gonna go this. I think I'm gonna go Mission Impossible here. Mad Max is James Bond. This isn't a great matchup for Mad Max. I will give him that. Even the new Mad Max stuff, really good. James Bond, though, that's gonna be a favorite. Oh, this is kind of rough. Indiana Jones versus Jurassic Park. I mean, I think they're doing another Indiana Jones, if I'm not mistaken, which is pretty cool. But Jurassic Park or Indiana Jones, the new Jurassic Parks are also really good. This is tough because, oh my God. I think Indiana Jones, I feel like I would do a disservice to Indiana Jones if I didn't pick Indiana Jones. Toy Story or Alien? I'm not a huge fan of Alien. I'm sure there are tons and tons of who are, but Toy Story is an amazing franchise, 100%. Okay, so this is the I think battle for MCU right here is Star Wars, all Disney, by the way. Ocean's 11, great. I love the Ocean's 11 movies, but Star Wars, like how are you going to beat Star Wars, man? Hannibal versus Terminator. The new stuff post really like Silence of the Lambs. What was that? Manhunt, Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal. I mean, those were good, but Terminator gets worse by far as it goes along. But oh my God, this is a tough matchup. Because really, to me, like after Silence of the Lambs, it's pretty bad. But I think as an overall franchise, I'm probably gonna go Terminator. James Bond versus Mission Impossible, which is cool, a spy matchup. James Bond, there's way too much James Bond, I think, for Mission Impossible to compete. Toy Story versus Indiana Jones. That's a good matchup right there. Toy Story versus Indiana Jones. Both really good. I don't know. This is tough. I think I'm gonna go Indiana Jones. But Toy Story is really close there. That was like an overtime matchup right there. All right, Star Wars, Terminator. I think Star Wars here. Okay, Spider-Man versus. Is this going to be the full Batman franchise versus Spider-Man franchise? Wow, Spider-Man. This is a bad first matchup. This seems. What would I rather watch? The Batman movies or this? I think probably the Batman movies. It's the whole Batman franchise versus Spider-Man franchise, which would go back, through Tobey Maguire and man, I probably Batman. This seems really unfair, but probably Batman. All right, James Bond versus. I think this is where Indiana Jones is gonna fall. Star Wars versus Batman. I'm gonna go Star Wars. Batman's so flipping good. Star Wars versus James Bond. Probably Star Wars here. Okay, so now we've got the finale. MCU versus Star Wars. MC, I mean, both franchises are growing, right? And I think Star Wars, I mean, neither are hit or miss. right? Like everything in the MCU, outside of like maybe one of the Iron Man and one of the like the Thor movies, the original Hulks were not very good. But everything else in that whole franchise really good. Star Wars also has about 3 movies in those 3 sets of trilogies that are failures, that are really bad. They're not really bad. They're just not great. But you know what? The credit to Star Wars also right now for killing it on Disney Plus with like Boba Fett and Mandalorian and everything like that. And now the new Obi-Wan series is coming. But MCU's got new stuff coming too, right? Oh my God, this is a hard matchup. What would you rather watch, Star Wars or MCU? I think I would rather watch. I think I would rather go Star Wars, right? Oh my God. I guess. I don't. This is a tough one, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Star Wars. But it's super close. It's super close. All right. Let's hit another one. I want to hit a video game one. So video game bracket, right? Horror brackets. Where's the video games? Video game temples, video game consoles, best video game characters, PlayStation mascots, sexiest video game female characters. All right, man. All right, let me just look into video games. What are we dealing with here? Best video games, attractive female video game characters, best video games of 2020, best video games ever. See, I'm curious what because you can put your own games in here, right? Looks like I touched this one already, but we're gonna roll with this. All right. So I may have done like some of these Crash Bandicoot games, but like GTA 5, right? I mean, that's gonna be a favorite. Watch Dogs. Oh, Meat Boy. Watch Dogs, I guess. Uncharted 3. I do want to see the new movie, but you know, the Modern Warfare series were so good. Mario Kart. I'm not a huge Final Fantasy person, but I'm gonna go Mario Kart here for sure. Pokemon Fallout 4. So this was the Game Boy, the original game. Oh yeah. The Fallout series, not big with. Borderlands 2. Yeah, some of these might be really quick. Oh man. You know, so I did finally get through some of like the Witcher stuff, but the problem with the Super Mario on the Wii is really like when you're co-op, like when you're playing with somebody else is when it's kind of a nightmare. I hate playing with somebody else on Super Mario on the Wii. Because you kill each other constantly. The second you hit each other, you're just launching somebody straight to their death. This is a tough match. I'm gonna go Witcher, right? Rayman Origins, Team Fortress 2. I'm gonna go Team Fortress 2, but man, Portal 2. I'm not a huge Portal fan, but the original Sonic is a clear favorite right here, right? The original Sonic, so fun. Well, see, this seems unfair. Tetris versus Call of Duty, the first Modern Warfare. So it's Call of Duty 4 is the first Modern Warfare. Tetris is fun. Like it's the most sold game or most played game of all time, something like that. May not be most sold game, but most played game or something like that of all time. Call of Duty Modern Warfare is the start of that, right? Like it's the start of that series. Age of Empires 2, I played that a lot. Super Mario Sunshine, I was not a big fan of. I feel like I'm taking down Super Mario all the time right now. So, but we're going Age of Empires. Okay, so the South Park games are hilarious. But Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, like I'm actually playing through like Assassin's Creed 2 now, just like a little bit here and there. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, the whole Ezio storyline is amazing. The original Assassin's Creed versus Uncharted Drake's Fortune. I'm gonna probably just go Assassin's Creed. I feel bad for that one, but oh well. Okay, Crash Bandicoot, overrated, right? Like I feel like it's just a knockoff of some things of like Sonic and yeah, no. BioShock Infinite, Uncharted 4, good. It reminds me of like Just Cause and stuff like that. LA Noire versus Breath of the Wild. This is a good game from Rockstar as well. I'm a huge Rockstar fan. But so many of the Zelda games were just so classic, right? All right, the original Portal versus Assassin's Creed Unity. Okay, this game was so bug ridden. I had no fun on this, and it was so, I thought, repetitive and copied. Right, that's kind of what Ubisoft did, was they just started like copying the previous game, and it was like year after year after year a new Assassin's Creed. I think they screwed themselves. GTA 3 versus World of Warcraft. I think GTA 3. It was Warcraft 3. I'm sorry. Apologies. So this is my hot take on GTA. GTA 3 was I thought better than Vice City. A lot of people loved Vice City. I get it. I loved GTA 3. I'm gonna go with it. What Zelda is this? Versus like this is like the OG Mario Kart. I mean, I think Mario Kart. The Walking Dead. Oh, I mean GTA or Red Dead 2, right? Like, come on. Minecraft versus the original Age of Empires. I mean, Minecraft is, I think I was talking about earlier, is maybe like the number one like most sold game of all time. So I think Tetris is the most played game of all time, something like that. I don't know. All right, this is on Game Boy Color. Pokemon Gotta Catch 'Em All, the silver version versus Hotline Miami. I don't think I've ever played this. I have played a handful of the Pokemon games. I don't think I've ever played that. All right, Final Fantasy. This is Final Fantasy 7, though, right? See, that one I love. That was one of the best versus Angry Birds, which is great on your phone, but I mean, come on. Dishonored versus Diablo 3. I mean, Diablo 3, so good. Mario Kart Wii versus Metal Gear Solid. PlayStation 2 version, Metal Gear Solid. Mario Kart Wii. Oh, okay. Well, GoldenEye 007. I can remember spending a lot of time at my friend Travis's house playing a lot of GoldenEye. Link's Awakening versus Mario Kart 60. Mario 64. This was iconic because on the 64, like it just changed Mario, I think, forever. Super Mario. Assassin's Creed 3 versus Dead Space. Assassin's Creed 3. Vice City versus Revelations. I think this is by far like the worst Ezio version, but GTA Vice City is still really good, even though I said 3 is better. Vice City probably still better than Revelations. I'm a big Assassin's Creed guy. Go. League of Legends versus Borderlands. League of Legends, although not a big fan, but I get it as far as like just iconic and still playable. The new Tomb Raider versus Fallout New Vegas. The new Tomb Raider, hella fun, just a great adventure game. Life is Strange. I've only watched videos on, and I've played The Sims. I'm gonna go The Sims. Okay, GTA 5 versus Watch Dogs. GTA 5. This is gonna be I think an obvious matchup for me towards the end, but Mario Kart Modern Warfare 2. So this is the DS. Yeah, Modern Warfare 2. Borderlands 2 versus, yep, we're gonna go Pokemon. You're an OG Game Boy. Team Fortress 2 versus The Witcher. Yeah, Team Fortress 2 is just goofy. The original Sonic. versus the OG Modern Warfare. Best game of all time. I probably this. That's a tough matchup, but probably that. All right, Age of Empires 2, awesome, super fun. Sit down for hours and hours and do it. Brotherhood is so flipping good. The original Assassin's Creed, okay, sorry. Zelda, Breath of the Wind, Uncharted 4, Zelda. I'm gonna have to play some more Zelda here recently. I'm gonna have to play Zelda again here soon. All right, GTA 3. Right here, Super Mario Kart, the OG versus Red Dead 2. Come on, Red Dead 2 is gonna be walking through, I think, pretty quick. Minecraft. Final Fantasy 7 versus Diablo 3. I think Final Fantasy 7. This is going to be a first surprise for me. Oh no, Mario Kart Wii versus GoldenEye on the 64. I think today, because I haven't played GoldenEye in 15, 20 years, I feel like probably 20 years. I think today, if somebody's, I don't know. I mean, the Mario Kart Wii, which is great. It's perfect. It's perfectly fine. It's a great version of Mario Kart. But GoldenEye, I think I'm going to give it to GoldenEye. And I think the reason why I'm going to do that, because it was like the first like game where you could sit down with your friends and do this. Now you can do that today with Wii, Mario Kart, but GoldenEye was like the OG game where you could have a party and play video games. So GoldenEye. Mario Kart 64 versus Assassin's Creed 3. I think for best game of all time, I think Super Mario 64. Vice City versus League of Legends. I'm gonna give it to League of Legends. Tomb Raider versus Sims 2. I'm gonna say Tomb Raider. I think I clicked on that. GTA 5 versus Modern Warfare 2. This is tough. It's gonna be harder and harder on the side, but GTA 5. The Witcher. So I've enjoyed The Witcher. I want to watch the Witcher series. I'm gonna have to follow up on that and do that. But okay, so this is tough. So Call of Duty 4, the original, Modern Warfare, right? Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I think Call of Duty 4. This is surprising, but I think if I'm gonna have to pick, I'm gonna have to pick. All right, Zelda Breath of the Wild. This is a Zelda matchup right here, so we're going Breath of the Wild. I really enjoyed that. Red Dead 2 versus GTA 3. Pretty easy Red Dead Redemption 2 right here. Minecraft versus Final Fantasy 7. I think Minecraft, for the sake of what it is, for best games of all time, I think Minecraft. So here we go. We got a Nintendo 64 matchup. Super Mario versus GoldenEye. I think I'm going to go Super Mario. But that's a good matchup. All right, League of Legends versus Tomb Raider. I'll say League of Legends. Tomb Raider is going to have to die at some point here. GTA 5 versus The Witcher. This is going to be a GTA 5. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare versus Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think Call of Duty 4. All right, Red Dead 2 versus Minecraft. So let's put it into perspective. Best game of all time, right? I think the story and the online aspects of Red Dead, I think, bump it above Minecraft. There's so many different things you can do and mods and everything to Minecraft, but for the best game of all time and just the story of Red Dead, I think Red Dead 2. All right, Super Mario 64 and League of Legends. Super Mario 64. GTA 5 versus Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. So this is where Call of Duty is going to go down. So GTA 5. Red Dead 2 versus Super Mario 64. So this is going to be surprising because I think, honestly, Red Dead Redemption 2's story is maybe the best story in video games ever. But I'm going to go Super Mario 64. I think if I just think of like the overall video game itself, Super Mario 64 is so fun. And then finally, GTA 5 versus Super Mario 64. I think GTA 5 story is probably the second best story of all time. It's offline mode, and then the online is still growing to this day, like 9 years later or whatever. The problem right now where Rockstar is kind of getting a black eye is like, how many different consoles and versions are we going to put out of this? But you know what? It's still growing. It's still making money, right? All right, Witcher 2 versus Skyrim. I think Skyrim for this. Skyrim I thought was still a little overrated, but yeah. All right, Oblivion versus Left 4 Dead 2. Left 4 Dead 2, they're pretty good. They're just kind of fun basher type games. Mass Effect 3 versus Half-Life. This is Half-Life. Half-Life was so good. Mirror's Edge, which was not great. 8 on the original. Was Final Fantasy 8 on the original PlayStation? I did not like Mirror's Edge. That was stupid. So Final Fantasy stories are still really good. Counter-Strike versus BioShock. I mean, I think you have to give it to Counter-Strike just for its longevity. BioShock is just okay, but Counter-Strike for the longevity. All right, Hearthstone. I'm not a big card fan, right? So I'm gonna go Pokemon. Batman Arkham City and Age of Mythology. The new Batman games were fun. So I'm going to give that. Mass Effect and Resident Evil 4. I think Resident Evil 4. Those are also really good. Assassin's Creed 2 versus Civilization. Assassin's Creed 2. That might be my favorite in the whole series. So yeah, Assassin's Creed 2. Wii Sports versus Super Mario 3. Super Mario 3. Wii Sports is great for sitting around having fun with your friends or whatever. But Super Mario 3, epic, right? Far Cry 3, Battlefield 3. Battlefield games, I think, to me, were a disappointment. So I'm going Far Cry 3. Limbo versus Tekken 3. I've never played Limbo. So apologies there. I'm going Tekken 3. I mean, especially if I think of like arcade aspect. All right, so the original Left 4 Dead versus Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. San Andreas, great story. It's not like maybe like a top 5 for me, but so good. All right, Mass Effect 2 versus Journey. I don't even know what Journey is. The Mass Effect games were fine. So I guess we're gonna go that. Diablo 2 versus Super Smash Bros. Melee. Wow. I think for me personally, and just the game itself, Super Smash Brothers was fine. I would just get sick of button mashing. So I'm going Diablo 2. The Diablo games were great. The Diablo, I think, like the first real like online game I played back in the old modem days. The original Super Mario Bros. Yeah, I mean, I think that's gonna win over Rayman, right? Not as fun as like most people think. It's also super super difficult, but Super Mario Brothers. Okay, the original Red Dead versus Zelda Phantom Hourglass. I have never played that. I am assuming I've never played that. I don't think I have. But Red Dead is really good. Black Flag versus Super Mario Bros. What is this? Is this on the Wii U? I would assume so. I'm going Black Flag because this looks like the Wii, but I'm thinking it's the Wii U version. I've never played the Wii U version, so by default, I'm going Black Flag. All right, so Super Smash Bros. Brawl better, but they get matched up against maybe my favorite Mario game of all time is Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. I have maybe beat that game 20 times. All right, Deus Ex versus Super Mario Galaxy. Super Mario Galaxy is fun. It's not great, but it's gonna win this matchup. Ocarina of Time. Okay, well that's going to be a fair. That's gonna move past most things. All right, Call of Duty. This is the original Black Ops versus Final Fantasy X. This might be the point of Final Fantasies where I got tired of Final Fantasy. Black Ops games are just okay. Batman Arkham Asylum versus Battlefront 2. So I enjoy Battlefront 2. I think I'm gonna go Battlefront 2. Arkham Asylum was tough, but not as good as like Arkham Knight. So I'm gonna go Battlefront 2. The original Tomb Raider versus Uncharted. You know what? The original Tomb Raider. I'm going with it. It was fun. It was fun. GTA 4 versus Don't Starve Together. I have seen this. I have never played it. I think I've seen videos on it, but GTA 4 is going to win most things. So I'm going to go GTA 4. All right, Fallout 3 versus Half-Life 2. I may be biased. I'm not a huge Fallout fan. They just get boring. So I'm gonna go Half-Life 2. Okay. Sorry, I was getting a text. All right, Mario Kart Double Dash versus Rayman. Yeah, I think the Double Dash was super fun. I'm not a big Rayman fan. All right, The Legend of Zelda Metal Gear Solid though. This is Majora's Mask. I don't remember this one, or I don't think I've ever played it, but Metal Gear Solid, I'm gonna have to give some credit to. The original Sims versus The Last of Us. So I've seen the whole story of The Last of Us and their original Sims. The Last of Us, I think, is one of probably one of these competing like best stories of all time. So I'm gonna go with The Last of Us. All right, so this is World of Warcraft versus Mario Kart 64. I feel like Mario Kart 64 was on the other side, but maybe not. Okay. This is a tough matchup, but I think I'm going to go Mario Kart 64. I'm sure there are plenty of World of Warcraft people out there that are going to be upset with this, but it's Mario Kart 64, right? Windwalker. There's so many Zelda games, right? In BioShock 2. Yeah, some of those the older Zelda games are so much better. All right, The Sims 3 versus Pokemon. I don't know exactly which version, the Pikachu's special edition. Because I think I already have a Pokemon game, like the original Game Boy version moving through, I'm gonna go Sims 3. All right, Skyrim versus Left 4 Dead 2. I'm gonna go Skyrim. It's not the whole like Morrowind stuff and everything like that. I'm not like giant fans of those, but it is what it is. Half-Life, but yeah, Skyrim was so good. Counter-Strike, I think just for the sake of it, I think I have to move Counter-Strike through. Batman Arkham City versus Resident Evil 4. There's no other Resident Evils. So I think just for the sake of it, I'm going to move Resident Evil through. Assassin's Creed 2 versus Super Mario Bros. 3. I think I'm going to do Assassin's Creed 2. If this was the Super Nintendo version of Super Mario World, I would have Assassin's Creed 2 losing. Tekken 3 versus Far Cry 3. I think Tekken, right? Like, I think I'm going to have to go Tekken. San Andreas versus Mass Effect 2. This is going to be a San Andreas win. Diablo 2 versus the original Super Mario Bros. I think if it was Diablo, I enjoyed Diablo 1 more than any of the others, so I'm going to go Super Mario Bros. Red Dead Redemption versus Black Flag. I think Black Flag. I think just the piracy aspect and the ships, I mean, it's so fun. All right, Super Mario World versus Super Mario Galaxy. This is, to me, an easy win. The Super Nintendo version was so good. Okay, Ocarina of Time versus Black Ops. This is, the Nintendo 64 was so good, man. I need to get one. Battlefront 2 versus the original Tomb Raider. I think probably Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2 is going to lose probably next round, depending on its matchup, but yeah, it's surprising that it's moved this far. All right, Half-Life 2 versus GTA 4. I think GTA 4, Half-Life 2, the Half-Life games were great. And there's a lot to them, but GTA 4. Metal Gear Solid That's right. So I'm gonna have to move Metal Gear Solid. The Last of Us, Mario Kart 64. I think The Last of Us. The Sims 3. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of a Sims fan, so I'm gonna move it forward. All right, Skyrim versus Half-Life. I think Skyrim. Again, I never finished it, but I played a lot of it and watched 100 people play it. Yeah, all's good. All right, Resident Evil 4 versus Counter-Strike. I think Counter-Strike I'm tired of, so I'm going Resident Evil on this. Assassin's Creed 2 versus Tekken 3. We're going to do Assassin's Creed 2. GTA San Andreas versus the original Super Mario Bros. I'm going to move it forward. I'm going to move Mario Bros. Forward. All right, this is a tough matchup. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag versus Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. For best video game of all time, I mean, I think Super Mario World. I am such a fan. All right, so Ocarina of Time versus Battlefront 2 is an easy one. That's going to be Zelda. GTA 4 is going to win over Metal Gear Solid. The Last of Us is going to win over The Sims 3. Skyrim versus Resident. I think Skyrim. The Elder Scrolls. Here, I said Morrowind earlier. Sorry, the Elder Scrolls games. Assassin's Creed 2 versus the original Super Mario Bros. I think this is where the Super Mario Bros. Falls off. A classic, but it's not as fun as I think what most people have in their head. Super Mario World versus, okay, so this is going to be the Super Mario. That's a tough matchup for Zelda. The Last of Us versus GTA 4. I think probably The Last of Us. I'm going to do it. I'm not a big PlayStation guy or whatever, but I think The Last of Us here. Skyrim. I think this is where Skyrim falls off. Assassin's Creed 2 wins over Skyrim. I'm going to be shunned for that one, but that's okay. Super Mario World over The Last of Us. And Assassin's Creed 2 versus Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. I think Super Mario World. I think I'm going to take that. And finally, the matchup. GTA 5 versus Super Mario World. I have more time played in GTA 5 than any game in history by far. But Super Mario World hits that nostalgic aspect for me. This is a tough matchup right here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to have a shocker. I think everybody was expecting me to put GTA 5. And you're right. I'm going GTA 5 over Super Mario World. It was a close matchup. I almost picked Super Mario World. It's so good. It's probably the game I beat the most, probably. But it's really good. All right, so that is it. So we went through a couple like little fun brackets right there. Hope everybody kind of enjoyed that. There we go. I'm stopping sharing right there. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Again, thank you very much, everybody, for watching and just having a goofy time with these brackets. That'll be the last one because March is going to be wrapping up through this podcast now. So we're going to get into April and I have a couple. Actually, I have like a list of like 30 things I want to do in the podcast right now, like 30-ish podcast ideas. But I think we're going to do some video game trivia coming up here pretty soon. I might get a guest on for that and see if somebody can jump in, and we're gonna do some trivia. I think. So if you have any suggestions as far as that goes, let me know and can throw that in here. But I think that'll be probably the next podcast. So again, happy March, everybody, and thank you very much for watching and listening. Later.